Hey crypto crew, welcome back to Crypto Crib, your daily dose of the latest in the digital asset world. Today is June 19th, 2025. Here's everything going on in crypto that you need to know. Let's dive in. US Senate passes Genius Act for stablecoins. Big news, the US Senate with a 68-30 bipartisan vote passed the Genius Act, establishing the first ever federal framework for USD-pegged stablecoins. Issuers now must back tokens 1-1 with liquid assets, cash, T-bills, publish monthly reserve reports, and undergo audits if over $50 billion in market cap. This is huge. It brings clarity and legitimacy to stablecoins, hugely important as more players like Meta, Walmart, Visa integrate them. But it's not over yet. The bill heads next to the Republican-controlled House before reaching Trump's desk. Coinbase rallies on Genius Plus launch of Coinbase payments. As soon as news hit, Coinbase shares spiked 116%, breaking through key resistance near 277s, closing around $295. But why? Dual boost, Senate passage and the rollout of Coinbase payments, enabling USDC payments on Shopify and other commerce platforms, 24/7 crypto on-ramp. Meanwhile, traditional payment stocks tumbled, Visa down 4.5%, MasterCard 5.4%, PayPal 3%. Capital rotation is real. Market context, Bitcoin, volatility and caution ahead. Today's Crypto Daybook from CoinDesk reports BTC hovering 104.5K, BI stable as global tensions from Mideast war and Fed silence dominate. But derivatives show caution signs that traders are watching closely. Across the market, total cap dropped 2.3%, around $3.38 trillion. Of the top 100 altcoins, 30 are green, rest red. Ethereum dipped to $2,464 intraday, but recovered modestly. The Fed kept rates steady between 4.25 and 4.50%, shifting focus to upcoming CPI/PPI data. Markets pause, but can ramp fast once data drops. On the altcoin front, XRP, technical analyst IGRAG flags a key 21-week EMA versus 33-week SMA crossover around late September 2025. Bullish cross could drive XRP to 670, 13s or even $27 per his breakdown. Per his Pi network, trading near 0.50 cents, downside risk flagged by FX Street analysts. 3 risk factors could push it below that level. On Twitter, Crypto Rover teased potential short-lived market dip. The market knows something we don't, sparking chatter about a possible micro-correction in the short term. Nothing major or yet, but worth keeping an eye on. So, recapitulating. Regulation is advancing. Genius Act legitimizes stablecoins, paving the way for institutional adoption. Volatility remains. Fed hold, macro data looming, but setups are forming. Technicals on XRP, Pi and other alts make for compelling short to mid-term setups. All right, fam, let's break down what the rest of 2025 could look like for the crypto market, and more specifically, when the next bull run could realistically begin. We're talking probabilities, not guarantees, but based on halving cycles, historical patterns, institutional inflows, and macroeconomic trends, here's how we see it. June 2025, 15% chance. June's typically a transitional month. Bitcoin is still stabilizing post-halving, and institutions are in observation mode. It's possible to see some early movement, but a full-blown bull run, still unlikely. July 2025, 20% chance. Things could start heating up. Mid-year earnings season, ETF flows, and a few macro signals may boost confidence. But again, this is more of a setup month than a true breakout. August 2025, 30% chance. We're entering the second half of the year, and historically, August begins the pressure build-up. Traders are back from summer breaks, and the market starts forming clearer bullish structures, but not quite lift-off yet. September 2025, 45% chance. Now we're talking. September has often been the trigger zone for past bull runs, especially ahead of Q4. It's also when large funds finalize yearly positioning. Expect stronger signals, more liquidity, and early breakouts from key resistance levels. October 2025, 60% chance. October has a track record. Bitcoin's historic breakout in October 2020, for example, kicked off one of the strongest rallies. Sentiment, volume, and fundamentals often align here. This is when things can start to get really exciting. November 2025, 75% chance. Historically, November is ignition month. Year-end FOMO, Black Friday narratives, holiday cash inflows, and institutional entries all pile in. If we're going full bull mode, it likely begins here or just before. December 2025, 85% chance, the most likely month. If we haven't taken off by now, December becomes a launch pad, and not just for Bitcoin, but for the whole market. Alts, DeFi, NFTs, everything tends to move fast when the rocket launches in December. So what's the takeaway? While no one can predict markets with certainty, Q4 2025 looks like the golden zone. Keep your eye on the charts, macro signals, and ETF flows. The earlier months are about preparation. The later months? Potential explosion. Finally, we have the Fear and Greed Index at 57, so it has stabilized a bit because it had been going down in recent months. That's your Crypto Pulse for June 19th, 2025. Feel the trend shift. If you loved this update, smash that like button, subscribe to Crypto Crib, and ring the bell so you never miss a beat. Drop your hot takes or questions below. Cryptoverso, stay curious, stay sharp, and I'll see you in tomorrow's episode.